Good morning to all of you. Welcome to the class again. So in last class we have discussed about different asexual methods of reproduction in different organisms, and we have discussed about vegetative propagules with their examples. And in today's session, let us move to reproduction in water hyacinth. So you should understand about reproduction in this specific plant. So here this water hyacinth is commonly known as terror of Bengal. It is commonly known as terror of Bengal. Are you following this? This plant, water hyacinth, is commonly known as terror of Bengal. Okay, why this plant is known as terror of Bengal, that I will tell you at the end. Okay, now just listen this word. And the scientific name of this plant is Eichhornia crassipes. Eichhornia crassipes is the scientific name of this plant, water hyacinth. And it is a most invasive weed. So you have to understand the meaning of this term, most invasive weed. The meaning of invasive is which spreads in a harmful manner. In a dangerous way, the plant spreads. Therefore, it is called as invasive. And it is a weed which is not useful to us and which is unwanted. The unwanted plant is called as weed. The unwanted plant which grows, which spreads in a very dangerous manner, therefore it is known as a invasive weed. And this plant generally grows. This plant generally grows in standing water, stagnant water or standing water. It won't grow in a flowing water. It grows only in a stagnant water, where water is collected in a pond or in a small area. There the plant grows. And one more interesting fact about the plant is it is introduced in India. It is introduced in India. The plant is introduced in India. It was not there in India. The plant is introduced into the Indian water bodies because of there are reasons to bring the plant or any other animal to introduce it into different countries. Similarly, this plant is introduced into India because of its beautiful flowers. The plant has got very beautiful flowers, attractive flowers, and also shape of the leaves shape of the leaves. The shape of the leaves are also very attractive. For these two reasons, the plant is introduced into Indian water bodies. And this plant, after introducing it into Indian water bodies, that now we have understood that it drains out oxygen. It drains out oxygen and it leads or it results in death of fish. Death of fish and other aquatic animals. Just understand here, the plant is introduced for the flower, beautiful flowers which has got, and also it has got beautiful leaves. For these two reasons the plant is introduced, but since it grows very fast in a invasive manner, okay, it will not allow the availability of oxygen to aquatic organisms which are present, other aquatic organisms which are present in that water body, so that it leads to death of fishes and also other aquatic animals. And it is very difficult to get rid of. It is very difficult to get rid of this plant. It is difficult to get rid of. Okay, it is not possible to remove completely. It's not possible to eradicate this plant from that water body because of two reasons. One is it spreads at phenomenal rate. It spreads or it reproduces vegetatively. It propagates vegetatively at a phenomenal rate. It means it spreads at a so faster rate, and it spreads all over the water body. It spreads all over the water body in a short period. So in a short period, it covers the complete water body. So therefore, it is not possible to remove the complete plant from that water body. So therefore, this plant has got some importance. Only for the harmful purpose, it has no use at all. And I told you already, this plant is commonly known as Terror of Bengal. Why the plant is known as Terror of Bengal? Because in Bengal, fish is the supplement food for the people of Bengal. When this plant grows at a phenomenal rate in that water body, it resulted in the death of fish, and people did not get fish for their food, so that they were suffering from the deficiency of fishes. Hence, the plant is known as a terror for the people of Bengal. Therefore, the plant is commonly known as Terror of Bengal. Okay, so now what we have understood from this concept is the plant water hyacinth, it reproduces at a faster rate, in that phenomenal rate, in a short period of time. Now this is what the process of reproduction in a plant known as water hyacinth. Okay, And let us move to reproduction in other organisms other than this. Okay, something special, the reproduction which is special in other organisms also we have to discuss here. So we have already discussed about reproduction in unicellular organisms, reproduction in animals and plants with a simple structural organization, and reproduction in higher plants where we have to use the word vegetative propagation instead of asexual reproduction. And again we have discussed about reproduction particularly in this water hyacinth. We have studied this water hyacinth about its reproductive process and its speciality. Now reproduction in potato and rhizomes. Potato and rhizomes. Potato is a tuber. Rhizomes like banana and ginger. So these are the two examples for rhizome. I told you already in the last class. So this is a structure where the plant can reproduce by this structure. Okay, so examples for rhizomes is a ginger, and one more example is banana. How reproduction takes place? Something different type of reproduction takes place in these organisms. So now these potato and banana and ginger, they are all modified stems. They are modified stems. These are modified stems. So stem modification we have already studied in first PUC. Okay, and in these plants reproduction takes place. In these plants, potato, banana and ginger, in these plants reproduction occurs. Vegetative reproduction occurs. Vegetative reproduction occurs through nodes. Reproduction occurs through nodes. This is what you have to understand. Therefore, these plants have got importance. Okay. So in stem, you know that very well, which is stem is characterized by the presence of a nodes as well as internodes. Now this structure is called as a node. We have already studied in first PUC. So this is also node. The portion of the stem which is present between two nodes is called as internode, and this nodal region of the stem, nodal region of the stem of these plants, potato, banana and ginger, where bud is present. From this bud it grows into a new plant. So therefore in these plants reproduction takes place through the nodes. Okay, so this is one. I think I hope you are following this. Okay, the stem of these plants have got buds in the nodal region. By these nodes reproduction takes place. So this is what you have to understand regarding reproduction in these two modified stems. Okay, so this is little bit different from the plants or the methods of reproduction which we have studied earlier. Now again, still there are other methods of reproduction. Okay, reproduction in plant like bryophyllum. So how reproduction takes place in this plant? So reproduction in this plant is different from in these plants. Okay, and these two plants, these different plants will have a reproduction methods. These are different from the plants which I have already discussed. In case of bryophyllum, buds are present, adventitious buds are present. Adventitious buds are present in the notches of leaves. Notches of leaves. So in particularly this plant, bryophyllum plant, so this has got leaves. Okay, in this plant, margin is serrated. Margin is serrated. Now this serrated margin, this is nothing but a notches. In this notches, adventitious buds are present. Adventitious buds are present in the notches of these leaves. When this leaf falls on the ground, so this bud will grow into complete new plant. So that in these plants, reproduction takes place by leaves. Okay. So in bryophyllum, in this plant, reproduction takes place. In this plant, reproduction occurs by leaves. So it means leaves are involved in the process of reproduction. So with all these methods, so what we discussed so far, different methods of asexual reproduction. What are the different methods of asexual reproduction we discussed so far? Cell division method, budding in yeast, binary fission in amoeba, encystation, sporulation, zoospore formation, fragmentation. So these are all methods takes place in case of unicellular organisms or plants and animals with a simple structural organization. But in case of plants, I told you already, the word asexual reproduction cannot be used. Instead of that, we can use the word vegetative propagation. Okay, so we have studied about different vegetative propagation methods. In addition to that, there are certain plants where there is a special methods of reproduction. Okay, so that is in case of a water hyacinth, there is a special methods of reproduction. And in these modified stems, potato, banana and ginger, here reproduction takes place through nodes. Please remember. Okay, and next in case of bryophyllum, here reproduction takes place through the leaves. Okay, so leaves are involved in the process of reproduction here. Asexual reproduction or vegetative propagation takes place through, so these leaves. So these are all various methods of asexual reproduction in different categories of plants as well as animals. Okay, so these are all various methods of asexual reproduction, and with this asexual reproduction is completed. And let us move to next concept of your syllabus. Sexual reproduction. So here you have already studied the definition for sexual reproduction. When two parents participate, just read this. When two parents participate in a reproductive process, reproductive process and involves formation and fusion of male and female gametes is called sexual reproduction. Okay, I think you can follow the meaning of sexual reproduction, and you are in a position to differentiate this sexual reproduction with asexual reproduction. Here there is the involvement of two parents. Sexual reproduction, to complete the process of sexual reproduction, there is a requirement of two parents and two parents of opposite sex, that is important. And also there is the involvement of formation and fusion of a male and female gametes. Formation of a male and female gametes, and these two gametes must fuse. Okay, then the process of sexual reproduction will be completed. So now this is definition for sexual reproduction. Okay, when two parents of opposite sex participate in the process of a reproduction, and also there should be a formation of a gametes, male and female gametes, and those gametes must be fused, then such a reproduction is called as a sexual reproduction. Now, when the offspring or young one is produced by sexual reproduction, or is not identical to their parents. Not identical to their parents. The young one which is produced by the act of sexual reproduction, the offspring which are produced by sexual reproduction, they are not similar. Okay, not similar or not identical to their parents, or among themselves. Suppose if there are 4 individuals, 4 young ones or 4 offspring which are produced by sexual reproduction, okay, and these 4 individuals are not identical to any of their parents. They are not exactly like their father, or they are not exactly like their mother. They are not exactly like male partner or female partner. Okay, and they are not similar. All the 4 individuals are not similar among themselves. There is a great difference. There is a difference among the individuals, among the young ones, and also there are differences from their parents. So this is how we can differentiate sexual reproduction with asexual reproduction. So that these are 2 important differences between sexual and asexual reproduction, which we have already studied the process of asexual reproduction. Okay, in case of asexual reproduction, 2 parents participate. 2 parents with the opposite sex participate in the reproductive process. And in case of asexual reproduction, there is a involvement of only 1 parent. Okay. So in case of asexual reproduction, with or without formation of gametes, asexual reproduction will be completed. But here there must be formation of gametes and fusion of gametes takes place. Okay, with this, suppose in the examination they may ask a question, list out the differences between asexual and sexual reproduction, then you can list out the important differences. Okay, I hope you have followed, you have understood the differences between asexual and sexual reproduction. Okay, and with this so this sexual reproduction definition is over. Okay, plants, animals and some other organisms like fungi, so they are all different in many characteristics, like their morphology, their internal structures, their physiology, they are all different. Now I am talking here, so there are diverse group of organisms like plants, there are varieties of plants, animals, okay, fungi, so these are all different organisms. Okay, diverse group of organisms, they are quite different in many characteristics, like their morphology. These organisms are different in their morphology. Plants are different, animals are different, fungi is different. By seeing them we can understand that it is a plant, animal or fungi. Not only that, they are different in their internal structures. They are different in their internal structures and also in their physiology. They are different in their physiology. Okay, their physiology is different, internal structures are different, morphology is different. ಯಾವುದ್ರದ್ದು? ಈ plants, animals ಮತ್ತು fungi. Plants, animals, fungi, these are all different from one to another in many characteristics like morphology, internal structures, physiology. ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ when we come to the sexual reproduction, when we think of sexual reproduction of these organisms, they share some of the common characters, some of the common features. Okay, they share some characters, some features in common. Some features in common. What are those characteristics, features? What are the characteristics which are common for all these organisms regarding this sexual reproduction? One is, I am listing here the characters which are common for all these organisms. One is juvenile phase, and another one is called as reproductive phase. Next one is called as senescence phase. So these are the three different phases in which these organisms are common. Okay, plants morphology is different from morphology of animals and morphology of fungi. Internal structure of plants are different from these organisms. Physiology, what is the meaning of physiology? Here photosynthesis takes place in case of plants, no photosynthesis takes place in these two organisms. Okay, and there are various physiological processes in which they are all quite different. Even then, when it comes to the sexual reproductive process, all these diverse group of organisms, they share some of the characters common. Okay, some features which are common. So which are, one is juvenile phase, next one is called as a reproductive phase, and another one is called as a senescence phase. You please remember, these are the common features for diverse group of organisms. Okay, now let us discuss what are these characteristics, what are these features, how they are specialized, okay, in different group of organisms. Okay. Now I am talking about juvenile phase. What is this juvenile phase? The young age of an individual. And now this juvenile phase is also called as vegetative phase. Vegetative phase. I have already discussed with you in the first class itself. Okay, regarding lifespan. In lifespan there are different phases. Okay, so first one is called as birth, and birth is followed by juvenile phase, and later one is called as a reproductive phase, which is followed by senescence phase. Okay, finally it leads to death. So these are all different stages or phases in the life of an individual. Okay, so but juvenile phase is considered as first phase, please remember, which is not given in the textbook. So which is first phase in the lifespan of an organism. Okay, suppose if it is asked in the examination, identify or which of one of the following is the first phase in the lifespan of an organism. Okay, ee reetiyana question bandre, so you should identify it as a juvenile phase or vegetative phase. So this vegetative phase is the word, it can be used in case of a plants. Okay, now this juvenile phase or vegetative phase, in this phase what happens, certain growth and maturity occurs here. Growth and maturity takes place. The plant or any other organism which reach a certain stage of a growth, which reaches to a certain stage of a growth before it enters into a stage of reproduction. It enters into a phase of a reproduction or reproductive process. So suppose if there is a seed, when this seed germinates and it produces a plumule and the radical, and to enter into a reproductive phase it has to grow. Okay, it has to grow and it has to attain maturity. So this growth and maturity, it reaches to a certain stage of a growth and maturity only during this juvenile phase or in the vegetative phase. Okay, and now this is the juvenile phase. And now question arises here, once if it is reached, okay, if suppose if the plant produces a flower, juvenile phase is over, the juvenile phase is completed because it starts reproducing. But here the question is, okay, so the interflowering period, so there is a word which is given in the textbook, interflowering period. ಇದು ಇಂಟರ್ಫ್ಲವರಿಂಗ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೀವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು, ಜುವೆನೈಲ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಒಳಗಡೆಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಐದರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ ಆರ್ ಎನಿಮಲ್ ಆರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎನಿ ಅದರ್ ಆರ್ಗನಿಸಮ್, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗ್ರೋ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅಟೈನ್ ಮೆಚುರಿಟಿ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಇಟ್ ಎಂಟರ್ಸ್ ಇಂಟು ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಫೇಸ್. ಇದು ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಫೇಸಿಗೆ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮೊದಲು ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಮತ್ತು ಮೆಚುರಿಟಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅಂಥ ಒಂದು ಫೇಸ್ನ, ಅಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ನ ಜುವೆನೈಲ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಈಗ ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ಇದು ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ ಸೀಡ್ ಜರ್ಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಓಕೆ, ಪ್ಲೂಮಿಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ರ್ಯಾಡಿಕಲ್ ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲೇನೇ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಇಯರ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇದು ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಗ್ರೋ ಫಾರ್ ಸಮ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಅಟೈನ್ ಮೆಚುರಿಟಿ. ಅದೊಂದು ಮೆಚುರಿಟಿ ಬರಬೇಕು, ಆವಾಗಲೇ ಅದು ಫ್ಲವರ್ನ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಇದು ನಾವು ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ಎನಿಮಲ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಯಂಗ್ ಒನ್, ಒಂದು ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ಯಂಗ್ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಬರ್ತ್ ಆದರೆ, ಬರ್ತ್ ಆದ ತಕ್ಷಣಕ್ಕೆ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಹೋಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅದರೊಳಗಡೆಗೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಏನು ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು? ದ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಏನಿಮಲ್, ನಾವು ಯಾವುದೇ ಎನಿಮಲ್ ತೊಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ, ಓಕೆ, ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಗ್ರೋ, ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ರೀಚ್ ದ ಮೆಚುರಿಟಿ. ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೆಚುರಿಟಿಗೆ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಆವಾಗಲೇ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ಸು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದರೊಳಗಡೆಗೆ. ಆ ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೆಚುರಿಟಿ ನಡೀತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ, ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಜನ್ನು ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಜುವನೈಲ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಶಬ್ದನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇರ್ಫುಲ್ಲಾಗಿ ಕೇಳ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ ನೀವೀಗ. ನಾನು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೆ, ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸಾರಿ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಆದರೆ ಜುವನೈಲ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಓಕೆ, ಅದು ಏನಾಗಿಬಿಡ್ತದಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಒಳಗಡೆಗೆ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಆಯಿತು ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಆದರೆ. ಆದರೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಒಳಗಡೆಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸಸ್ ಎ ಫ್ಲವರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಅದೊಂದು ಫ್ಲವರ್ನ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ನ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಫ್ಲವರಿಂಗ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಮುಗಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಗೇನ್ ಇಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸಸ್ ಎ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸೀಸನ್. ಇನ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸೀಸನ್ ಇಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸಸ್ ಎ ಫ್ಲವರ್ಸ್ and all the flowers will fall off, or otherwise they develop into fruits. Okay, and again you will not see any flowers in the plant body after some time, or when the next season it comes, then again it starts producing a flower. Okay, ನಮಗಿಲ್ಲಿ ಡೌಟ್ ಏನಿದೆಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ, ಈ ಫೇಸನ್ನು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿಬೇಕು? ವೆದರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಸ್ ಎ ಜುವನೈಲ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಆರ್ ಮೆಚುರಿಟಿ ಅಥವಾ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿಬೇಕು. ಈ ಪೀರಿಯಡನ್ನು ಇಂಟರ್ ಫ್ಲವರಿಂಗ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿಬೇಕಲ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಇಂಟರ್ ಫ್ಲವರಿಂಗ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಒಳಗಡೆಗೆ ದ ಫ್ಲವರಿಂಗ್ ಅಕರ್ಸ್ ಮೋರ್ ದೆನ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ ಫ್ಲವರಿಂಗ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್. ದ ಫ್ಲವರಿಂಗ್ ಅಕರ್ಸ್, ಸರಿ ಕೇಳ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಶಬ್ದನ, ಫ್ಲವರಿಂಗ್ ಅಕರ್ಸ್ ಮೋರ್ ದೆನ್ ಒನ್ಸ್, more than once is called interflowering period. Okay, so this is the definition for interflowering period. I hope you have all followed the definition for interflowering period. Okay, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸಸ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಬಾರಿ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಇಂಟರ್ ಫ್ಲವರಿಂಗ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ ಫ್ಲವರಿಂಗ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಈಸ್ juvenile phase. It comes under juvenile phase only. Okay, so this is what you have to understand, which is given in the textbook. Okay, whether it is juvenile period or it is a reproductive period ಅಂತ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ನಾಗಿದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ನೀವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಜುವನೈಲ್ ಫೇಸ್. ಇದು ಯಾಕೆ ಜುವನೈಲ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದರೆ, ಒಂದು ಸಾರಿ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಆಗಿ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ದ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಗ್ರೋ ಅಗೇನ್, ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಗೇನ್ ಮೆಚುರಿಟಿ ಅಗೇನ್. Therefore, it is known as a juvenile phase. Once flowering is over, okay, for setting up of a next round of a flowers, so the plant has to gain maturity. Okay, therefore, this is known as a juvenile phase. So, ನಾನು ಈಗ ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಇಂಟರ್ ಫ್ಲವರಿಂಗ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ನ ಜುವನೈಲ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಅಂತ ಯಾಕೆ ಕರಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಒಂದು ಸಾರಿ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಆಗಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ನೊಮ್ಮೆ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಆ ಮಧ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ಈಗ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟು ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಸಾರಿ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಸಮ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಶುಡ್ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್. ದೇರ್ಫೋರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ ಫ್ಲವರಿಂಗ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಜುವನೈಲ್ ಫೇಸ್, ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ called as a reproductive phase. Okay, so this is about the juvenile phase, which is taking place in all organisms. It is characteristic of plants, animals and fungi, but particularly in case of plants, so we should call it as a vegetative phase. And this is the first phase in the lifespan of all organisms. So this is about juvenile phase, and let us move to next one is reproductive phase. ಇದೇನು ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಇದು ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು? ಈ ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಎನಿಮಲ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಫಂಗೈ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಎಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಝುವನೈಲ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ದ ಬಿಗಿನಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಫೇಸ್. ಯಾವಾಗ ಝುವನೈಲ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಹೌ ಡು ಯು ಡಿಫೈನ್ ದಿಸ್ ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಫೇಸ್? The end of juvenile phase. The end of juvenile phase marks the beginning of reproductive phase. Beginning of reproductive phase. So in this way you have to define the reproductive phase. ಒಂದು ಸಾರಿ ಅದು ಎಂಡ್ ಆದರೆ, ಝುವನೈಲ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಆದರೆ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತಲೇ ಅರ್ಥ. ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? ಇದನ್ನ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಂಟರ್ ಫ್ಲವರಿಂಗ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ನ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗ. ಒಂದು ಸಾರಿ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥನೇ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ನಾನೀಗ. ಆದರೆ ಇಂಟರ್ ಫ್ಲವರಿಂಗ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಇದೆ. ಒಂದು ಸಾರಿ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಆಗಿ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಸಾರಿ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಮತ್ತು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮೆಚುರಿಟಿ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸಾರಿ ಮೆಚುರಿಟಿ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇಂಟರ್ ಫ್ಲವರಿಂಗ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ನ ಝುವನೈಲ್ ಫೇಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಹೊರತಾಗಿ ಅದನ್ನು ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಫೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿನಿ ಇದನ್ನು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ಲಿ ಸೀನ್ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಆ್ಯನಿವಲ್ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ಸ್. In case of annual plants, okay, so these reproductive phases, annual plants as well as biennial plants, annual plants and biennial plants, these three different phases, all the three phases, juvenile phase, reproductive phase and senescence phase are clearly seen. Okay, in case of these plants, annual plants and biennial plants, what are these annual plants and biennial plants? We can differentiate plants into three categories based on their lifespan: annual plants, biennial plants, and another one is called as perennial plants. Annual plants are those which can complete their lifespan within 1 year. Okay, those plants which can complete their lifespan within 1 year are called as annual plants. Those plants which can complete their lifespan within 2 years are called as biennial plants. And those plants which complete their lifespan in more than 2 years are called as perennial plants. So they are called as perennial plants. Perennial plants or perennial species, perennials. So like this we can name them. These plants can survive more than 2 years. So they go on reproducing. Okay. So here now what I am explaining, in case of annual plants and biennial plants, these three phases, what are those three phases? Juvenile phase, reproductive phase and senescence phase are clearly seen, are clearly differentiated. Because when the plant germinates, okay, it starts growing and it will reach a stage of maturity. That period is known as a juvenile period. When plant comes to a flower, it enters into a reproductive phase, and when the flowering period is over, then some changes takes place in the plant body, then it enters into a senescence phase. So therefore these phases can be clearly seen in annual plants and biennial plants. But in case of perennial plants, it is difficult to identify. It is difficult to identify or differentiate these phases. Difficult to identify the three phases. These three phases, it is difficult to identify these three phases in case of a plant which can live for more than 2 years. Okay. And next, in case of animals, when we think of animals, in animals, just remember, in case of animals, when juvenile period is completed, when juvenile phase is over, when it starts entering into a reproductive phase, then some morphological changes and behavioral changes we can observe. Morphological and behavioral changes we can notice. Okay, this is only in case of animals, but this is not possible in case of plants. Only in case of animals, when the animal enters into a reproductive phase, some changes we can notice in the morphology as well as in the behavior. Okay, so this is what you have to understand. Here, reproductive phase, just you should know about the definition. It is the end of juvenile phase and reproductive process starts. Okay, in case of annual plants and biennial plants, all the three phases can be clearly seen. But in case of perennial plants, it is difficult to differentiate or identify between the three phases. Okay, but when it comes to the animals, juvenile phase and reproductive phase, the changes we can observe, some morphological and behavioral changes can be seen. Okay, so like this, we can study about the reproductive phase in different group of organisms. Okay, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ನ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಯಾವಾಗ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ ಅದು ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಫೇಸ್ಗೆ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಓಕೆ, ಬಟ್ ಇದು ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಭಾಳಷ್ಟು ಕಾರಣಗಳಿದ್ದಾವೆ. ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಭಾಳಷ್ಟು ಕಾರಣಗಳಿದ್ದಾವೆ. ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಆಗ್ತಾನೇ ಇರ್ತವೆ. ಇನ್ನು ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಸೀಸನಲಿ ಫ್ಲವರ್ನ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಬಟ್ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಸಮ್ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಾಟ್ a special features in flowering response. So that is nothing but a unusual flowering phenomenon, unusual flowering response that we can see in some of the plants. So now let us discuss about this unusual flowering response in some of the plants. Unusual flowering phenomena. What is the meaning of this unusual flowering phenomenon? ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಗಿ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರೆ ನಮಗೇನದು ಅನ್ಯೂಶುವಲ್ ಅನಿಸೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಯೂಶುವಲ್. ಯೂಶುವಲಿ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಫ್ಲವರಿಂಗ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಡೇ. ಅಥವಾ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸೀಸನ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಅದು ಕೂಡ ಯೂಶುವಲ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಯೂಶುವಲಿ ಫ್ಲವರಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ ಸೀಸನ್. But there are certain plants which exhibit this unusual flowering response or phenomenon. For example, bamboo species. In which season this plant produces a flower? This plant produces flowers only once in their lifetime. This plant produces flowers once in their lifetime. Once in their lifetime. ನೋಡಿ, ಈ ಬ್ಯಾಂಬೂ ಸ್ಪೀಸಿಸ್ ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದರ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೇ ಸರಿನೇ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಆಗೋದು, ಮತ್ತು ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಆಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಹಳ್ಳಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಜನ ಒಂದು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಈ ವರ್ಷ ಈ ಬ್ಯಾಂಬೂ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ದೇಶಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾದ್ರೂ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ದೇಶಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಕೆಟ್ಟದಾದ್ರೂ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಬೂ ಸ್ಪೀಷೀಸ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಆಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ನೋಡೋದನ್ನು ಒಂದೇ ಸರಿನೇ. ಸೊ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸಸ್ ಅ ಫ್ಲವರ್ಸ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ 50 to 100 years. Okay, so these plants produce flowers once in 100 to 50 years, and they produce fruits and die. Okay, after 50 to 100 years they produce a large number of fruits and they die. So therefore, which is a quite unusual for us, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇದನ್ನು unusual flowering phenomenon ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. Next one is Strobilanthes plant. Next example, Strobilanthes kunthiana. Strobilanthes kunthiana is a plant which is commonly known as Neelakurinji. ಕಾಮನ್ಲಿ ನೋನ್ ಆಸ್ ನೀಲಕುರಂಜಿ. ಹೆಸರು ನೋಡಿದರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಈಗ ಇದ್ರದ್ದು ಏನು ಸ್ಪೆಷಾಲಿಟಿ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ಸ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ 12 years. Once in 12 years. This plant produces flowers once in their lifetime, but this plant produces flowers once in 12 years. ಓಕೆ, ಇದು ಕೂಡ ನಮಗೇನು ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ಅನ್ಯೂಶುವಲ್. ಫ್ಲವರಿಂಗ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಕ್ವೈಟ್ ಅನ್ಯೂಶುವಲ್ ಇಯರ್. ಈ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ ಒಂದು ಸಾರಿ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಸಾರಿ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ರೆ 12 ವರ್ಷಗಳು ಬೇಕು. ಯಾವುದು? ಸ್ಟ್ರೊಬಿಲಾಂಥಸ್ ಕುಂಥಿಯಾನಾ, ನೀಲಕುರಂಜಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಈ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ 12 ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೊಮ್ಮೆ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ ಯಾವುದು? ಬ್ಯಾಂಬೂ ಸ್ಪೀಸಿಸ್. ಅದರ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿನೇ ಒಂದೇ ಸರಿ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಓಕೆ, 50ರಿಂದ 100 ವರ್ಷಗಳವರೆಗೆ ಆದ ಮೇಲೆ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಭಾಳಷ್ಟು ಫ್ರೂಟ್ಸ್ನ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸತ್ತೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನು. ಓಕೆ, ಈ ರೀತಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನು ಕರಿಬೇಕು? ಅನ್ಯೂಶುವಲ್ ಫ್ಲವರಿಂಗ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಈ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೊಬಿಲಾಂಥಸ್ ಕುಂಥಿಯಾನಾ, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ಡ್, ಒಂದು ಸಾರಿ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು ಈ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ ಇದು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ಡ್ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ September-October 2006. September-October 2006 ಒಳಗಡೆಗೆ ಇದು ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಮೇಡ್ ದ ಹಿಲ್ಲಿ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಆಫ್, ಇಟ್ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟೆಡ್, ಇಟ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಡ್ the hilly areas of Kerala, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Okay, the hilly areas of these 3 states have become complete blue color. Okay, so with blue stretches. ಓಕೆ, ಈ ರೀತಿ ಈ ಏರಿಯಾ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಬ್ಲೂ ಕಲರ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಸೊ ವಿಚ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಮೆನಿ ಟೂರಿಸ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಸೋ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಟು ಸಿ, ದೇರ್ ಫೋರ್ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಮೆನಿ ಟೂರಿಸ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸ್ಪೆಷಾಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೊಬಿಲಾಂಥಸ್ ಕುಂಥಿಯಾನಾ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಈವನ್ ಯು ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ read in the newspaper regarding this Strobilanthes kunthiana which has flowered in our district also, in Sandur area. Okay, Sandur area ಒಳಗಡೆ ಕೂಡ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ okay it has flowered very well and which has attracted tourists. Okay, it is even this plant is distributed in that the forest area of Sandur also. Okay, so this is about the flowering response, unusual flowering response in case of some plants. Okay, so far we have discussed about the sexual reproduction, some concepts of a sexual reproduction. Okay, so now let us move to the next one. Okay, with this reproductive phase is over, And let us talk little about the senescence phase. Senescence phase. Senescence phase is also called as last phase. Please remember, last phase in the lifespan of organisms. Last phase in the lifespan of organisms. So ನಾನು ಇದನ್ನ ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, CET ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಒಳಗಡೆಗೆ ವಿಚ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಫಾಲೋವಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಫ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ಅಂತ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳಿದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರಬಹುದು, ಓಕೆ, ಸೆನೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇರಬಹುದು, ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಡೆತ್ ಅಂತ ಇರಬಹುದು, ಮತ್ತು ಇನ್ನು ಒಂದು ಬರ್ತ್ ಅಂತ ಇರಬಹುದು. ಓಕೆ, ಈ 4 ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇದಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ದ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಮೆನಿ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಡೆತ್, ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎ ಡೆತ್. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಫ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಸೆನೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಫೇಸ್. ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್, ಓಕೆ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಸೆನೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಫೇಸ್. ಸೆನೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಫೇಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸೆನೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ದೇರ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಸ್ಲೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಡೌನ್ ಆಫ್ so there is a slowing down of metabolism takes place. Slowing down of metabolism takes place. Metabolism or metabolic activity will be slowed down. Because of that the plant or animal or any other individual, it becomes physically and physiologically weak, and ultimately it leads to death. So these are all different phases which are common for diverse group of organisms. Either it may be fungi, or it may be plant, or it may be animal. For all these organisms, these 3 phases are common. Okay, so remaining we'll discuss in next class. Thank you.